Talk Real Estate with Sharon McNamara, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate Services.
Hi, I'm Sharon McNamara, and you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Let me share a little bit about my background before we get started. I am the broker-owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, a boutique real estate firm that is home to over 30 real estate sales and marketing consultants who service home buyers and home sellers throughout Boston, the South Shore, the South Coast, and Cape Cod. Our firm takes pride in assisting our clients in the next chapter of their lives by taking a holistic approach to their real estate endeavors. We believe that every move should be a moving experience. Every week, my real estate team member, Mary Baker, and I, along with the director of Boston Connect Real Estate, Melissa Wallace, provide you with our unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We like to mix it up sometimes, so not only will you hear our perspective on real estate topics, but you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of some of our real estate agents at Boston Connect Real Estate and the preferred professionals that we trust. Be part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We'd love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team or one of the dedicated agents at Boston Connect Real Estate to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with us at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
And hello to all our South Shore neighbors. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable with McNamara Broker Team. I don't even think we go by that anymore, but you know, whatever.
We just go by our names.
We just go by our names. My name is Melissa Wallace, and I am here in studio with my team member, Mary Baker.
Hello.
Hello.
I was going to say, I'm Mary Baker.
Yeah.
But you already said that.
Yeah, you are. If you listened to Rob Hackala this morning, I called in, and Sharon is not joining us tonight. She is spending some quality time with family. Well, she's actually on her way home now, but...
On a flight that was delayed. 6 hours.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to traveling at the end of next month.
Yeah,
I'm a little nervous about it.
You should show up to the airport a day early.
Or a day late, and I'll still get on my flight.
Show up a day early, and then show up to come home a day late, and you'll be fine.
Perfect.
Because that's sort of what has been happening ever since we started traveling again, at least our team. But we are joined by the one and only Kristen Howlett. She is a full-time real estate agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate. She has joined us quite a few times, right, Kristen?
I have. You're becoming a pro now.
Yeah,
I sure am.
You're becoming the fourth member here.
We're just going to go by your name, Kristen Howlett.
Yeah, Kristen Howlett.
Join it on up.
I'm ready. Joining all up.
Join it on up. So Invisalign problem, right? I lost my 6th set. So the ones that I'm wearing right now, I'm actually not ready for. So that's why I'm going to lisp like really, really bad today, and my teeth hurt so bad. But it was dumb of me. I lost my top retainer. Well,
sorry.
Anyway, anybody who's had Invisalign feels the pain, knows what I'm going through right now.
And you've overcome. You've come a long way.
I get used to it. It comes in waves sometimes, and then I cry myself to sleep because I hate it so much. But
it'll be worth it.
I'll have a pretty smile for my wedding, hopefully.
Yes, you will. Not hopefully, you will. Think positive, Blair. Okay?
Yep. We're going positive today, guys.
Going positive. But for those of you who have not heard Kristen on our show before, Kristen, why don't you take this time to introduce yourself to all of our listeners, how long you've been in the business, how long you've been with us at Boston Connect, the areas that you service, all that fun stuff.
So if you haven't listened to me, you're in for a treat. My name is Kristen Howlett. I am a full-time real estate agent at Boston Connect. I've been here since the inception of my real estate career.
So you started with me too, truthfully. Yeah. So when this is the first company I ever joined up with, and I say I bleed blue. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, me too, I guess. Bleed blue and
periwinkle. And periwinkle and navy.
I service pretty much anywhere. Bridgewater. I live in Bridgewater with my family.
You really do go anywhere.
Just I went in Fall River, and I love that area now. Westport.
Really?
Yep, Fall River. So it's becoming revitalized. The commuter rail's coming down there.
That's
the city,
nice.
And you're right near the water. It's really nice.
Okay.
So yeah, I will do anything you need.
She's here for you.
And that is true. And everybody in her family will do anything that you need as well, because there have been many times where Kristen has either told me or called me and told me, my Jake is going to pick up so-and-so's furniture. We've rented a U-Haul. We've done all these things. So
he just hung a mirror, a vanity mirror in someone's bathroom. And he also hooked up a Nest thermostat.
Of course he did.
Mm-hmm.
What
Actually,
can Jake not do?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Handy.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, and Brian, they're all helpful.
Yeah, they do.
Ava has come here, so your daughter Ava has come and helped us out with some of our events here. Your family is a Boston Connect family.
Yep.
They are. But tonight we are going to be talking about how to maximize your home search. So Kristen had reached out to me the other day and asked if she could join us on the show. And usually when agents ask if they can come on the show, or Sharon says something about what we want to talk about on the radio show, it's usually because something has happened in our business. Either personally or a story that we've heard. Something has happened that has brought this topic to light. So my immediate response to you was, what happened? What's going on? But this is just something that, you wanted to talk about. Nothing serious happened. No drama behind this. But we want to be talking about how to maximize your home search. So your top tips and all that jazz. But we're going to start off with a couple statistics, right? So Kristen did her homework. She did some research, and I know Mary is super big into statistics, but Mary likes the numbers with Sharon, so they can be talking numbers for the next 45 minutes, and I'm just like, okay, we need to put in real words in here in between these numbers, because our listeners aren't looking at these numbers, so let's have a little bit of an explanation behind these. But Kristen came up with a couple statistics that she found on, is this the National Association of Realtors, or?
Yes.
Okay. So which one do you want to start off
I'm
with?
going to start with the first one, which is, because that's kind of what we're talking about tonight, is the importance of a buyer's agent. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who don't know, there's typically a listing agent, and you can hire a buyer's agent who can help you with your home search, help you find properties, assist you with showing the properties, accompanying you to open houses, helping you with all the things that have to do with buying a house, which is a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll say that the top tip to maximize your home search is to use a buyer's agent.
And according to the National Association of Realtors, 41% of home buyers choose a real estate agent based on a recommendation.
Yeah. So the majority of our agents in this office, I know Sharon and Mary definitely work by referral. So it's, either a past client or a client that has referred one of our agents. So, or a friend, yep. Family members, anything like that. And we'll get into the whole online searching, mm-hmm. and in those who quote unquote buy leads and
other business professionals.
Yeah. But we here at Boston Connect, we work by referral, and I would say that everybody's doing a pretty good job at that. Mm-hmm. But what that means is that somebody is they have your back. They have your business in a sense, so they're saying, hey, I used so-and-so, I had this experience. And I had read, and I think I had mentioned this on a previous show, that I had read that, at least millennials or anybody nowadays are looking online and looking at reviews, and they'll look at X amount of reviews before they purchase anything, or mm-hmm. they use a service or use somebody for a service. And it's almost like they trust the opinions of strangers. Mm-hmm. So
no, I guess I was going to say nobody ever goes on and gives anybody glowing reviews, right? So the whole joke about when you're looking at to purchase anything or to go to any restaurant, you'll find 10 bad reviews before you'll find one glowing review, and it's because people like to go to the internet to complain. So I do kind of find it interesting that, hopefully there's no bad reviews about any of us out there, but they're looking at strangers' opinions and taking that kind of at face value. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's true, because I think about like myself when I buy a lot of things on Amazon. So I
Surprise.
Really? Yeah, I do.
I walked into 3 boxes here this morning.
Well, they're 3 items. They just happen to box them separately. I buy a lot of things on Amazon, and of course I have everything shipped here to the office. But I do look at some of the reviews, and I'm sort of weary when there's only like 10 reviews on something, and compared to, something else that has over 2,000 reviews, and it's,
and if it's the same item,
star.
wouldn't you would typically buy the one that has the most reviews? Could be the same exact.
Yeah, I have, and I've waited longer. It might, because I have Prime, but I might wait a little bit longer, but it had over 2,000 reviews. So I'm trusting 2,000 strangers to tell me, okay, yeah, this is sort of worth the wait. And that's just how I can relate to this. Yeah, I mean, I look at reviews and stuff like that. We'll just say this statistic one more time.
So if 41% of home buyers choose a real estate agent based on a recommendation.
So that could be anything. So when we're talking about working by referral too, that's, a past client of ours that maybe is really a family friend, then referred us to their friend that they work with, and that's a recommendation, same thing, right? So it's not only going online and reading about the reviews, even though those people probably do a little bit of background on you, kind of check up on your Facebook, your Instagram, I'm sure, what are you selling in the area? How can they Google your name? What do you look like? Things like that. But that hot recommendation or that warm recommendation from somebody that you already trust to somebody that they trusted to help them go through a similar experience, I think is pretty telling. I mean,
telling, and I know how I feel when I get one.
How you feel? You feel warm and fuzzy?
I get so excited.
Oh, when you get a referral. So as a buyer's agent or a listing agent, when you get a referral, because so that just reaffirms to you that you did a good job for your client and they trust you with somebody that they love and care about.
Yeah.
Right?
And to back up on that, 75% of home buyers choose the first agent they interview. So if you've been recommended,
41% of the time, you already feel as if you know that person. So that statistic, I think, is almost, I guess not abnormally high. I don't want to say it's like skewed a little bit. That 71% interviewing the first or working with the first agent that they interview. Because it might be the first agent that they interview, but it's somebody that was referred to them, so they already feel as if they know that person.
Agreed.
Ergo, they don't really feel as if they're just walking in off the street talking to Phil Dunphy. But we would all like Phil Dunphy.
I would love to work with Phil Dunphy.
From Modern Family?
Oh my gosh, I forgot about Modern Family for a second, so I really thought that you said like an agent's name on the South Shore. So I was like, I had a little bit of a heart attack over here. Like, oh my gosh, we don't call people out like this.
No, we joke that Sam is Phil Dunphy.
Yeah, Sam is Phil Dunphy. So, but I would be curious to see how many, what percentage of people use the agent that they're connected with through their online searching. And we'll get into that. Yeah, we'll get into sort of online searching, whether it's the Zillow or any other, contact this agent button. We'll get into that a little bit later in the show, but I'd be curious to know how, what percentage of people actually work with that agent that they meet off of some button that they've pressed online.
Agreed. So to piggyback
I got a story. No, I'm kidding.
So Mary reaches out to Melissa and says, "Oh my gosh, you have to use Kristen." And then we meet, and then what happens next? We talk. We feel each other out.
You interview each other.
I know I explain the process of buying. I always like to bring my buyers into the office.
I think that's a really important step now. I don't know that it ever wasn't not important, but it's becoming more and more important in our industry to be slowing buyers down. Because I remember when I first started, it was very much like, oh my gosh, Mary, I just saw this house pop up on Zillow. I want to go see it today.
Yeah.
Or a lot of cold calls that would come in, and they'd be like, I want to go see your listing today. And it's like, okay, well, now it's more, let's slow down. Let's have you come into the office. let's set the level of expectation as to what buying in this market is actually going to look like for you. And let's learn about each other, because this is no longer, you put in a $50,000 below asking offer and negotiate with the seller back and forth.
Nor do we have time to really, it's like,
backtrack.
I like this house. I want to put an offer in. Boom, we're doing it.
Yeah, and you need to be prepped
100%.
in order to be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
That's very
I
true.
have a good example that I just had a newer buyer that I've been working with, and he came in. We went through and I do go through everything. This is what the contract to purchase will look like. At this point, you might need a check. I'm amazed at how many people forget that they need money up front, that they need at least 5%, and even to put in an offer. Even if your home sale your purchase is contingent on your home sale, you still need that money. Mm-hmm. It's so sometimes you just taking 20 minutes, half an hour to go over all those things, it alleviates so many questions in the end, or things that pop up.
I think
I totally agree.
Something important to point out that you guys sort of touched upon just there was, you're not, as a buyer, you're not just interviewing an agent. The agent is interviewing you too.
I 100%, and I don't know if that's maybe going to come across as rude in some circumstances, but I very much, and I'm sure you do too, you want to work with people that you are similar to, that you enjoy, that you...
They have to be fun.
That make you laugh.
They can't be not fun.
I say to my buyers, I go, I want to be friends with you at the end of this. If I'm going to work with you, that means I want to be friends. Like, that's how much I enjoy, our company, because at the end of the day, you're going to come at me with some really hard questions. And if I don't like you now, I'm not going to like you when, I have to be explaining myself X, Y, and Z, or going through the process when you are highly emotional, and vice versa. If the sound of my voice bugs you, it's going to bug you 6 months from now when I'm calling you to say, I'm sorry, we didn't get our offer accepted again.
And I think you and I are similar in that what you see is really what you get.
100%.
And
100%.
The bad and the ugly.
Invisalign and all.
Well, that's true, because if you sort of put out there that I'm here to waste your time type of thing.
No.
Because, let's be real. At the end of the day, you guys are trying to make a living. Okay, so if somebody is going to run you ragged and is not serious and just wants to look just to look, they're not a serious buyer. So if that's why it's the whole, we're interviewing you too, as a buyer, because if you don't have loyalty to us, then you got to look for another agent.
Yeah.
Or look for somebody
else. If it's
else.
not a mutual relationship, then it's not going to work.
Because there are people out there that will just look at a property with the listing agent. Yep. So you're going from agent to agent to agent. They don't have any loyalty to you. Yeah. Their loyalty is to their client who already has a contract with them to sell their house.
And sometimes I think that's just because people don't realize. They just don't know the whole process. Maybe they just,
And why a buyer's agent is important and what they actually do for you.
And it's free for you.
And I do, no matter if it's the listing side or the buy side, I always say, if we decide to work together, because I also
100%.
I don't want somebody to feel like they have to work with me just because we should mutually decide to work together.
I couldn't agree more.
Because I'm fun.
You are fun. You make everybody laugh.
What is the next statistic you want to talk about? That's a tongue twister for me.
Yeah.
And I don't even have Invisalign.
I'm not even going to attempt it.
I just have a fake tooth over here. We're all having tooth problems over here, all three of us.
Okay, so the next one I have is only 5% of all buyers choose to purchase a home directly from the owner.
This one was interesting, and I feel like this is more of a seller's statistic, because
I can elaborate on it.
Yeah.
When they decide to buy a home, most people, 89%, first turn to a real estate agent. Buyers who decide to contact homeowners directly are rare. In more than half the cases, they already know the person they're buying from. Another 5% choose to buy directly from the builder. Mary could speak more about that.
I'm not Mary, but I will speak. I'm actually not surprised by that, because we're always like sort of telling people who want to put their house on the market themselves and sell it themselves, which is a for sale by owner, FSBO, that you're going to get more money and more recognition and exposure when you use a real estate agent. So if you sell your house for more, it won't matter if you are paying an agent.
What was the statistic in our class the other day?
80%.
$80,000 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on average, when you're listing, the National Association of Realtors has put out a statistic, and I don't know if it was from 2020 or 2021, that when you're listing with a real estate agent, so the opposite of a FSBO, for sale by owner, the agents are actually able to get their clients about 80% more than the FSBO. Sorry, I just felt like I had to explain that.
Yeah.
Probably by listing on multiple listing service and exposing it.
Yeah. I feel like we should keep this statistic. I have a hard time with that word. It's sort of in our back pocket every time we do talk about FSBOs on this show or even in real life, because this is something that's proving our point. It's like only 5% of the whole buyer pool. Think about how many buyers are out there right now.
Yeah.
There's zero There's like 2 houses for sale in the town of Pembroke right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So think about all the buyers that are out there right now. Only 5% of them are going to purchase something that's not on the market and that's being sold by its owner, its current owner. And the other 5% is going directly to a builder, which Mary has seen before.
Yeah.
I feel like that's sort of more common than somebody buying a FSBO. Is that correct?
I would say yes, in the sense that usually the builder is already affiliated with a real estate agent or working with a real estate agent to market those properties. So while they're not necessarily, maybe they're not going direct to the builder, they're going direct to the builder's agent, and or sometimes they're experienced with new construction in some way, shape, or form. I don't know that your everyday first-time home buyer who's never been in the market ever is going to approach a builder without a real estate agent involved in some aspect. I think that would be incredibly, truthfully, dangerous and risky for a buyer.
Yeah.
But usually there's an agent like myself or Sharon on the other side to help facilitate the process with that buyer.
Well, we've also seen that, some of these builders who do like the onesie twosies.
That's where I say it gets very dangerous.
They get their real estate license.
Yeah.
So they don't have to pay a realtor to sell their builds. They get it themselves. So that could be part of the 5% as well. But I think that it's always sort of smart to have somebody who does this for a living, full time,
and who's going to advocate for you.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not sort of surprised by the 89%
going with an agent.
Going with an agent.
Okay, so
and the third one.
Our third one is,
you guys are so funny tonight.
93% of people visit websites when searching for homes.
Okay.
That's earth-shattering.
That sort of rolls into the rest of the show.
I think it's probably more. I think it's probably more like 99%.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine when you're buying your house. Period. I don't care if it's the real estate agent. They're finding your house almost always on the internet or by a sphere of influence that they have around them, network of agents that are selling.
Social media.
Yep. And then when you're a buyer looking, you're looking on the internet, or you're talking to your real estate agent that's looking on the internet.
And to break that down even further, it's the best option for nearly all age groups. The older millennials, 29 to 38, seem to be leading the pack again, with a staggering 98% of internet-relying home buyers.
Okay, so maybe I'm just biased there because I am obviously an older millennial. I'm like my 98%, 100%. There's no doubt in my mind.
The so-called silent generation push in a different direction. While 72% of them turn to website searches, about 86% of old-timers prefer to consult with a real estate agent. And that makes sense to me, too.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yep.
I mean, where they might be browsing on the internet, they're not really making any decisions until
they want that relationship.
One-on-one. Yeah, that personal relationship.
Nearly half of all buyers get informed through yard signs, and slightly more than that go to open house events.
Yeah, I mean, I just, based off of my experience of hosting open houses, there's a lot of looky-loos. There's a lot of neighbors, and I think we were able to cut down on that during COVID and during our COVID restrictions, because I remember doing an open house with Sharon one day, and literally I had to tell the neighbors that they couldn't come into the open house because
that was a while ago.
Scheduled. Yeah, this was like in the beginning of the pandemic.
I think it was like the first open house we were during pandemic.
Yeah, so we had social distancing out on the lawn and everybody had to check in with me. But with that one, it was like a 4-hour long open house and everybody had a time slot. So we knew everybody who was showing up. So anybody that showed up and didn't, because it wasn't in MLS as a public open house, because we didn't want the public sort of just showing up. If you had an agent, come with your agent. If you didn't have an agent, just contact us directly and we'll show you the house, and then you can choose to work with us or not.
More of like
our job is to sell the house.
Open house.
But
open house.
we, every time somebody came up to me and said, oh yeah, we're here for the open house. Oh, do you have an appointment? Oh no. Oh, how'd you hear about the open house? Oh, we live down the street. Yeah, I'm sorry, but we're booked solid. Like this is COVID. Like we're supposed to be social distancing. This isn't time to looky-loo. And we had like 40 people out on the friggin' lawn.
I feel like just the state of the market in general, and I know this is a little off topic, the state of our current market right now, I don't know that it's fun to just be driving around looking for open houses and trying to like clamor in with 40 other people, all at the same time. I think it used to be a fun pastime when the market was a little bit more of a buyer's market. Now that, we're so far past a seller's market. We're like, I don't know. We're halfway to the moon by now.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Then I don't know that it's fun for neighbors to just like pop on by. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion.
I agree.
Honestly, like who even has the time for that? But if you want to join in on the conversation, you can call George at the studio, 781-837-4900. And he will get you connected with us. We're not live on Facebook tonight, but we are having fun in the studio. So give us a ring. Give us a ring.
I actually did my hair today. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry.
So let's talk about.
I want to talk about what you want, because this is a very interesting topic to me and a very interesting perspective that I think a lot of people don't get to see. So
let's role play.
Okay.
So again, Mary tells Melissa that she needs to work with Kristen.
Okay.
So
Melissa, work with Kristen.
Hello. So we meet, and then what are you doing next? What are you doing at 10 o'clock at night when you're lying in bed?
I'm looking online.
Where are you looking?
She's an older millennial, so she's on a 98%.
I'm looking on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor, Redfin.
All those fun third-party sites.
So something interesting comes up. What do you do?
I press the button. That says, "Tour the schedule a showing,"
or
get more information.
Well, on Zillow, it will say "contact agent," and you hit that button, and it asks you for your contact information. But what do you think? If you're prompted to contact agent, who do you think you're contacting?
I think that I'm contacting the listing agent.
And you're probably going to say, "Hey, Mary told me to work with Kristen, but I'm going to call you to find out some more information about this property. I really want Kristen to show it to me, but I'm going to get some information from it."
Maybe I don't know if I like it yet. Maybe I don't know if it's going to, fit what I'm looking for.
But
so
what really happens?
Well, hold on. Let me expand on this. I'm awake at 2 a.m. because my cat is wanting breakfast. And no, she does this to me. She wakes me up at 2. I say, it's 2. It's not 6.
She's a hungry hippo.
Yeah, her. And now Ja is out there like every morning, like, hello? Now she's influencing him. So I have 2 cats waking me up at 2 a.m., okay? And now I can't fall back to sleep. I'm going to start my home search. I send an email to my realtor, Kristen. She doesn't answer me. And now it's 2:05. Why hasn't she answered me? You know what? I think I'm just going to click this button. I just want some more information, harmless, not a big deal.
They're just going to send me an email, maybe.
Not a big deal. Now what have I done? Now what?
You have opened Pandora's box.
All because you didn't answer me at 2 a.m.
Chances are you are going to be put into a queue of other agents who are hungry for you as a buyer's agent.
Who are
As
up
a-
at 2
as a buyer.
a.m. getting ice cream and their phone pings because they're hungry. Not just for leads, but for ice
So
cream.
they are going to call Melissa right back.
Mm-hmm.
2 a.m., 3 a.m., whatever it takes. And they are going to say, hey, Melissa, how can I help you with 123 Main Street?
Oh, well, I just wanted some information about the property. Do you know, what the age of the roof?
Is the basement finished?
Is the basement finished?
Um,
How much
yeah.
square footage?
What's
be
is the backyard fenced in?
What's the lowest the sellers will take?
To be honest, I've never seen the property.
Oh, thank you for your honesty, because not everybody is.
Oh, interesting. So are you the agent?
No, I'm not the agent.
You're-
But I can help you.
You don't have
And maybe-
123 Main Street.
No, but
Okay.
do you really want 123 Main Street? Because I have 126 Main Street.
Oh, is that better?
Maybe.
Not better. Is it cheaper?
It has a fenced-in backyard.
It's
Do
a
they
one
take
bedroom.
0% down?
How many bedrooms do you need?
I can show, but can you show me 123 Main Street?
I can. We can meet there.
Okay.
Do you want to meet there tomorrow?
I actually have a buyer's agent.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have a
well-
buyer's agent. Her name
Well,
is Kristen.
that changes everything.
Oh,
Does it?
Why does that change
It does.
everything?
Thank you. Come again.
Bye, thank you, come again. Or they wouldn't say thank you, come again, and be like, okay, well, maybe I can still meet you over
Maybe
there.
we can still.
Have you
right.
signed a contract?
And-
No, you haven't signed a contract? Okay, well, I can still show it to you.
And I guess our point is that
Thanks for coming along for the ride.
our point is that sometimes it, through no fault of maybe it's not, it's not intentional. It can be a little deceiving when you think that you're going to contact the agent and you're actually not contacting the listing agent. You're contacting somebody who's never seen the property, who doesn't know anything about the property. I did a little deep dive. So Zillow, it's contact agent. It asks you for your contact information, which we know that the Z company also sells.
Yes, they sell your information to other companies. It's data mining. I mean, has anybody ever watched The Social Dilemma?
Yep.
Go out and watch it, because I cried and stopped taking any
I watched
notifications
the
on my
Social
phone.
Network.
It's
Different.
Different. It's where it all started.
So Realtor.com is very similar. They ask you for your contact information. Realtor does, I did see, it does actually show you at the tippy top who the listing agent is, but it's not easily accessible. You'd have to write down the agent's
You'd have to
name.
know what you're looking for,
You'd
don't
have
you
to-
think?
Exactly. Instead
who
of
you're
that
looking
bright
for.
button that says contact agent. It does give you the listing agent info, but it doesn't link you to it. And then Redfin, which I will give Redfin props because I love their app. I think their app is so user-friendly. It gives you all the information. It's got great pictures. It's literally got everything you need. But when you go in there, the first thing that's flashing at you is schedule a tour. And this is what I have a problem with, only because I just had a listing and I did have people calling and thinking. I actually had a buyer client, who thought that she made an appointment with the listing agent to show a property that I was going to accompany her with. But really, it was an agent who, again, wasn't the listing agent, didn't know anything about the property, just kind of put it on there. There were no showings until the open house, which was 6 days away. But all I kept thinking was, what if this buyer went, or any buyer went and just met a random person and went to a random house that really wasn't ready to be shown? It's wasting your time. It's wasting the buyer's time. It's really wasting everybody's time.
Well, Kristen, why don't you talk about, I know this is a little bit off topic, but we'll talk about your listing in Taunton and what happened with one of your showings there.
So I had a showing, right, so this doesn't have anything to do with the online leads, but
No.
same thing. We went on market. We had back-to-back showings on Friday with open house Saturday and Sunday. Friday was all appointment only, and she has a cat, so I did accompanied showings for her. And I was sitting there, and this gentleman came in, and I thought it was the buyer's agent. And we started looking around, and then quickly I realized that it was actually the buyer. The buyer's agent just sent his client And we walked around, I think, through the whole first floor apartment before I realized that he wasn't. And then he went on his way, and immediately I got a phone call from the buyer's agent asking me how the showing went.
Oh my God.
What did you think? How did he react? There was never a, hey, Kristen, would you mind showing it to him? And
or,
really,
hey, I got caught in traffic. I'm sorry I wasn't able to make
Yeah.
it. Thank you so much for showing him.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would have been like, I hope you don't have a contract with him because I have shown him the property. So if he wants to put it on, if he wants to put an offer in, it'll be with me.
Yeah, I mean, it was not an open house. An open house is understandable.
Yeah,
And
of course.
we all, you know, traditionally will say we honor all relationships. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's the first question most of the time. Do you have an agent? We're not here to,
Yeah.
you know.
That's more about professional
Yeah,
courtesy.
exactly.
And I'm sorry, but I don't know who this agent was being lazy.
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's an example of a buyer's agent just sort of not doing what they're supposed to be doing. But
But I do think that I do think it's important for everyone to realize that when you do log on to a Redfin or a Zillow or a Realtor, you
It's highly unlikely that you're being connected with the listing agent or that the information that you're really being given. So in that scenario with your client, she was looking at Redfin and seeing, okay, this house, you know, I'm going to set up an appointment for me and Kristen at 2:30
Yep.
or whatever it is, 2:30, because that's when it
schedule a
says
tour. She wanted to schedule a tour.
that's when it says it's available. But in reality, you have the information in MLS that they aren't showing that property. They're not showing it until the open house. So potentially if your client either didn't contact you right away or was just like, oh, hey, Kristen, I just went to try and see 123 Main Street, she could potentially have driven, I don't know where she lives, but say a half an hour away to go there and find out that she really doesn't have access to the property.
Exactly.
Which that's what your point was, and that's what you were upset about, right?
100%. And I also think that what the consumer doesn't understand, or the buyer, is that once you do click that button, it's I mean, you can do so, but you will pretty much get a phone call back, guaranteed. Sometimes not by one, because I think sometimes
I've tested it.
It goes into a queue, and if Mary's the first agent and she doesn't answer, then it's going to go to Melissa, then it's going to go to Kristen. So you could get up to 10 phone calls. And until you make contact, it's going to keep going. And I showed Melissa a great...
yeah. There's an SNL skit that Kristen showed me yesterday and then showed Mary today. It's a little inappropriate
It's a little risque.
A little risque to talk about the full skit on the
Radio.
radio. I almost said the internet. 'cause that's what we're
Google
talking about.
Zillow, SNL.
It is quite funny.
It's hysterical.
That's what all agents think about
Yeah.
Zillow, just so you know.
So part of it is contacting Zillow, and then you just get bombarded with phone calls. Oh, you want to see this property?
I don't know. I kind of abandoned Zillow a while ago. I mean, Sharon and I collectively a couple of years. When I would say abandoned, I mean we just were not actively on there. We have profiles, and people can leave us reviews on there, and you can see our past sales. But a lot of times agents want to be the number one so-and-so or the preferred agent in their area. And what a lot of people don't realize is like me as an agent, I could pay Zillow X amount of dollars to be put in on certain listings in certain towns. And that's who you're really contacting.
To make sure that you hit contact agent.
Yeah.
And it goes to Mary.
Exactly. So and we did do that for some time. And I'll be completely honest, at the time, I was not successful with it. I really wasn't. We get super, super anxiety being that agent that was getting those Zillow calls because they're completely cold. So we started this conversation by talking about warm leads and warm referrals and, being introduced to people. You have no idea, even as the agent, who you're getting on the other side. And no offense, no offense, I don't know who you are, and you're asking me to go see a vacant house. Not likely. Not when I was young and dumb. Yeah, I definitely did it.
Not when there's no electricity and it's 8 o'clock at night.
But it's anxiety ridden. Like, I don't know you, you don't know me,
And you don't know anything about the property.
Yeah,
So
I
for
can't
me-
intelligently talk about it.
For me, I have done those calls in the past, and the first thing I did say was, I'm not the listing agent on that property. Because to me, feeling foolish about not knowing if there was a basement or a yard or anything else, it made me feel kind of less than.
I totally agree.
You know, and we're not saying this in a negative, because really there are quite a few positives to Zillow too. We talked today about agents that, clients that we ended up loving, and it started as a cold lead.
But I liked what you said to me earlier too. When that happens, it's because you hit it off with that person and their personality. Truthfully, like the one that we were talking about earlier, we literally just closed with these awesome clients on Monday, and they happened to be looking in our area in Pembroke, and they just happened to contact me somehow. I really don't know how they got to me, and I just happen to know a lot about Pembroke and the house that they were talking about.
And we happened to be sitting in the office having a wonderful time, and Mary got up to take the call, and we were all teasing her about
and now look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at us.
She followed through.
Yep. But so it can work, but you do have to be discerning. And it's kind of funny because that same couple that I was telling you about, I told you they went to an open house right before they met me, and they had told them, oh, I met an agent on Zillow, and there was another real estate agent who, I don't know her name, but she was like, oh, you don't want to work with anybody that's via Zillow. They don't know you. And he's like, well, because you know me any better? Like, I just walked in, here. Yeah. So he was really put off that she was putting somebody else down. And then they met me, and I'm exactly who I was on the phone.
Right.
Like, that nothing changed. But I just think people have to be discerning, or maybe a little bit more aware, eyes wide open type thing. Because you just don't know who you're getting.
And I think the moral of the story is, if you're in the market to buy a house, ask around, ask your friends, ask somebody maybe that just bought something, and say, you know, would you recommend the realtor that you worked with? Try at least to go that route first and establish some sort of a relationship, because it is the biggest purchase of your life. And you need somebody on your side. You need somebody who you're going to trust. And it might not necessarily be the first agent that you meet. It might be the second one.
But there is nothing wrong with interviewing more than one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you go to sell your house, you usually interview more than one agent, unless you know for sure you're going to go with the agent that you use to purchase it. So if a seller can interview a couple agents to sell their house, why can't a buyer? We only have about 5 minutes left, but I do want to say this. I think it's important to note that your agent has access to all the listings that you see at 2 o'clock in the morning on Zillow, Realtor.com, all those websites. So if you are staying within sort of the realm of what you want, and you've told your agent that, when you get set up on MLS by your agent, which you should if you're looking for a property, those properties are going to be on that list. So if you veer off and, you know, you told your agent you want a 2-bedroom, but now you're looking at 5 bedrooms with your budget is twice as much.
That's a really good point.
That's not something that you've told your agent that you can afford, or that's just what you're looking for. So if you're doing that and pressing the want more information, like, it's not going to really help your sort of home search.
Right.
So I think maybe starting off really broad with your agent in your search will help sort of eliminate the whole, let me press this button online and get more information, because you're already going to see it on your list from your realtor. And then you can start to sort of eliminate, okay, I don't necessarily like this town, it's too far from work. I wouldn't want this commute. Okay, do I really need 3 bedrooms? Maybe 2 bedrooms will be fine. Or maybe 2 bedrooms might not be enough, so let's go to 3, 4. Oh, I wanted a condo, but now I want a single family. You know, sort of that's sort of how you start to eliminate
everything you just said. And I know it'll just be quick. Everything that you just said, though, that's why you need a good relationship with your buyer's agent, because those are the conversations that you're having.
Yeah. Like
all day, every day. It very much is a relationship. It's not just like send a house, book an appointment. Send a house, book an appointment. That's not how we operate.
And I'm sitting here thinking, too, is it just because that's how this entire office works that we can't understand calling a stranger, meeting them at a house, and having them show? Like, is it because we are relationship-based that we I want to know everything about you before we start to
I think
date
there's
for
all different
45
types of
to
agents
60
out there.
days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it is. But to piggyback on your point too, going through the search, but also when you see something online, it's most times in MLS, and we get the down and dirty. There's sometimes remarks in there that the public can't see, and we can see that, it might need an entire septic system, or it might need, there might be things that make it less than perfect, and that's our job to be able to convey that information to you.
Well, there is a section in MLS for a listing that is just information that an agent can see. So the general public doesn't see certain firm remarks or disclosures.
Offer deadlines.
Commuter open or broker open houses. So your agent might be able to see the property before you.
Right.
So there are things that agents can see that you as a consumer or as a buyer can't see. Kristen, we only have about a minute or so I want you to be able to give all your contact information. So please, go ahead.
Kristen Howlett, Boston Connect Real Estate, 617-448-4896. Quickly, I have a great 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath colonial coming on in Bridgewater.
When's it coming on?
Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
580. Woo!
Tomorrow. Again, your phone number?
617-448-4896.
Woo!